Okay, let's go. So let's learn Torah. That's something we can. The Torah is the chachma of all of us. It can become our chachma. Everything else is all hearsay and baba maises. So let's just go to the basics. Yep. Okay, to those that are on Zoom, Shalom Aleichem. We are holding, I hope you have the pamphlet, the book. We got to get through this already. Holding, I believe, on page 14.
Page 14?
14, we're in the middle of the displays the reason and human effort. 14 or 15 on the page. The book, if you want to go to the book, you have the book. 84, 85, 86, I don't know, one of those pages.
What is the first word?
No, pick it up. Let's go to page 83, Ela. Human effort, I think we started that. So, good morning, everybody. Learn a little bit. This is one of the greatest struggles in Emunah, the greatest struggles in faith, and that is that even Moshe Rabbeinu in last week's Pasha and in this week's Pasha, that Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Lama hareisa lama azeh." Why are you not fair to this nation? Right? Moshe Rabbeinu says to them, right? He sends him to do a shlichus. He sends Moshe Rabbeinu to do a job. He comes down to Mitzrayim, Moshe Rabbeinu, to do the job. And the situation gets worse. It gets worse. He comes to redeem the Jews, and actually what happens is that the Pharaoh becomes enraged, self-understood. Somebody's coming to challenge him, and he actually becomes a worse king than he was before. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes out of the Pharaoh, and he says to God, Lama hareisa lama zeh. Why have you made it worse for this nation? Lama zeh shlachtani. Why have you sent me on this journey? And that's Moshe Rabbeinu's question here. He's challenging God. The Rebbe says, Chas Shalom, to say that Moshe Rabbeinu had a lack of faith, because Moshe Rabbeinu is a shepherd of faith. So how is it possible for Moshe Rabbeinu, for Moses, to say, Lama reis lama zeh? That even God says, you know what? God, in this week's Parsha, God continues to answer Moshe Rabbeinu on the question, which is interesting in itself, that God answers Moshe Rabbeinu's question, because that shows you that Moshe Rabbeinu's question is not a lack of faith, it's a challenge, and Moshe Rabbeinu is challenging God in this concept, and God gives a time to reply to him. He says, one of the things that God replies to him is, Chaval al de'avdin, this is today's morning's chitas, Chaval al de'avdin l'lei mishtach, and how sad it is. I miss the patriarchs. I miss them. I miss the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And you don't make it anymore like them. And the patriarchs, I tell them to jump, they jumped. They said, how high? I tell you to do something, and you have a million questions. And what's your name? What are you doing? What are you lama reisa? Why is things not going well? And you have these questions, and therefore you have to. What's the answer to the question? So what's the answer to Moshe Rabbeinu's question? And the answer is you have to have more faith. That's the Abish's answer. Neman, you can trust me. You have to have faith in me. You can trust me that I'm trustworthy to follow through what I'm going to say. So you have to have emunah. That's the answer. So your answer to your question is that you have to have faith. You have to have emunah. If you have emunah in me, you're going to see the outcome. You're gonna see the ultimate outcome. It might not be right now. It might go a little south right now. It might not work out right away. But a person needs to have bitachon, have faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, has trust in the Eibishter, that if he does the right thing, God is going to come through for him. And where do we see the biggest challenges in our faith? Is in our day-to-day living. It's not in our spiritual journey always. It's in our day-to-day living. As the question is asked, why do the righteous people suffer, and why do the wicked prosper? This is one of the $6 million question that is asked throughout history. And Moshe Rabbeinu asked this question: why are the righteous suffering? Right? Here are righteous people. I come down to the people. I see the righteous people, the good people. What's going on over here? What's going on over here? It's a good question. And God says, relax. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Relax. Take a deep breath. Stop overexerting yourself. Relax. Have patience. Have patience. And you will relax. You will see the outcome will be unbelievable. It'll be more than you expected. That's it. It will be more than you expected. So if you have trust in the Eibishter, God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, you will see great situations. Not only will the Jewish people be redeemed from Mitzrayim, they will go out with a chush gadol. They'll go out with a great abundance. Physically, spiritually, they're going to go out. This is going to be an unbelievable outcome. But you got to relax. Take a breath. Relax. Patience. Have faith. And that's where we see that this is one of the biggest struggles that the Alter Rebbe is the yard site is this week, Tuesday. And he said one of the biggest struggles that in Tanya, he writes, one of the biggest struggles that we have as human beings is to be makir b'chalkai. We always want to be someone else. We always want to be somebody. Relax. Take a deep breath. Look in the mirror. The Eibishter created you to be you and not to be somebody else. Everybody wants to be somebody else. And that's not what the Eibishter wanted. So stop having such anxieties. The Eibishter created you. He put you in the situation that you're supposed to be in. And just have patience. That's it. Do what you got to do. Have patience. And the Eibishter will do what he's supposed to do. And this is a great challenge we all go through because we have no patience. We have no faith and we have no patience. We want it now. And it needs to be done now. If it's not now, it's a terrible, terrible situation. It's a disaster. And God says, and that was Moshe Rabbeinu's thing. It's a disaster. Lama reis lama zeh. Why are you so terrible? Why is it? So it's a good question. It's not a problem. Moshe Rabbeinu's question is not a negative thing. Actually, Moshe Rabbeinu's question is a question. It's a challenge. It's a good question. And the answer that Eibishter answers him is an answer that we all have to accept in our own lives. Like Moshe Rabbeinu accepted it in his question, we have to accept it too. That we have to have trust. That if it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be next week. What's the rush? What's the rush? You have a lifetime. What's the rush? It cannot be, things cannot happen right away. It cannot happen. If you would have trust the Eibishter, relax, things will work out. I am trusted to work it out. Well, God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, I made a promise to Abraham. And when did the promise work out? 400 years later. So what's the rush? What's the rush, right? I remember this. But you see, that was the greatness. See, that was the greatness of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That they realized that it's not only about the present. It's not only about what's happening right now. It's something that is going to happen maybe years to come. What they're doing now will have an effect on years to come. The Rebbe writes in the Yom Yom today that a person, just like a person has to put on tefillin today, because it's a mitzvah to put on tefillin today, it's important to think a half an hour a day about the education of your children. It's important to think about the future. You can't just think only about the present one moment right now. A yid needs to think about Elam Haba, Elam Haza. He needs to be a Mashiach. He needs to think he has to have a broader mind. He can't think about only the right now. The right now is think about, as Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, the right now is not to do an Aveda. That's what the right now is. Don't do a sin. That's what the right now, right? And don't do a sin. Don't have even a sinful thought. That's what the right now is all about. But the Yiddish, the concept of what we accomplish through doing a mitzvah or through doing something positive is not only for the right now, it's nitzchis, is a concept of everlasting. We're connecting to God. That's everlasting. There's no now, past, present, and future in the concept of doing a mitzvah. You realize that when you do a mitzvah that you haven't done, then it's retroactive, as if you have done it from the day you were supposed to do it. So it's retroactive, right? Because a mitzvah is not connected to the now only. That right now, when I do the mitzvah is connected to when your soul was created thousands of years ago. When my soul was created, that's when I had to do the mitzvah. My soul was given an obligation to do the mitzvah. It didn't come down until 1963. But it was born, it was created before creation of the world. And it's going to be here till the end of time. It's nitzchi, it's unlimited. And that's why we do mitzvahs, to connect to the unlimited, not to the now. The now is don't do the Aveda. Do the mitzvah now, right? Do the mitzvah. What? That's the time today. Don't do the Aveda now. That's it. What you did yesterday, you do tshuva. What you're going to do tomorrow, who knows? Right now, don't do the Aveda. Do the mitzvah. And what's the mitzvah going to do for you? Nitzchias. It's going to give you everlasting. It's going to give you something that was given before the creation of the world. The Torah was written before the creation of the world. And the Torah is here forever. And therefore, do the mitzvah, because you're going to have a concept of an everlasting concept. But it's difficult. We struggle with the struggles of now. And that's what the thing is. With the struggles, the Abish to put in existence, the struggles of life. That's it. Well, the really question is, why did the Abish to put into existence the struggles of life? Why couldn't the Abish to? That's the $1 million question. Everyone would always ask this question. The Abish is a teva hatov lahativ. The Abish is tov, so the teva of tov is to do good. Why didn't God give everybody everything that they needed? Amachaya. Why couldn't we all be retired? And not so terrible. Let's all be coasting. Let's all be coasting.
We have no motivation to do anything.
Fine, but we won't do bad. So what's so terrible? We're not perfecting ourselves. We'll be perfect. We'll need to perfect ourselves. Why? Right? We should never left the Garden of Eden. We should live in Boca for the rest of our lives. Machai, you are back in the Garden of Eden. So Chassidus tells you, because you have a chelek elakah mimal mamish. You have a part of God. And just like God is here to make this world a better world, so too you have the avodah making this world a better world. If you didn't have a chelek elakah, if you didn't have a part of God, you would all be behemoths. Right? You'd all be behemoths. Behemoths is to make the world it's an S and chew your cud. So what's so funny? You have something against cows? Chew their cud. You'll chew your cud. You'll eat. You'll sleep. And you'll enjoy life. You'll get machaya. You won't have to worry about weight. You won't have to worry about anything. You'll live a good life. You live a good life. That's it. The Abish says, no, I made you a part of me. That's the citizen. They made you a part of me. And Shay says, I created the world. I created the world. I give purpose to the world. I gave a purpose to the world. I have a meaning in the world. I struggle with the world.
For sure.
I'm in you in your tzad. So I'm there with the tzaddis of the world. I'm not here. I'm not the one who created the world and looks from above and doesn't care what's happening in the world. I am there in the tzad of the world because I created it. And I'm part of that tzad. Therefore, you're part of my existence. You're part of my existence. You have a chelik elokah, you're part of my existence, and you have to avoid it. Just like I work, you need to work. Just like I have rachmanis, you need rachmanis. Just like I need to have the avodah to rectify the world. That's your avodah, to rectify the world, to elevate the world, challenge the world. So I created the challenge. That's what we say in our davening. Yetzirah uvayra choshen. He created everything in the world. He created light. He created darkness. Shalom avodas hakol. He wanted peace, and he created everything. And the Alter Rebbe in that prayer takes the word Yetzirah. He created evil. So the Eibishter created evil. He created evil, and he trusts me and you that are not going to be a tzaddik as we live in Tzidis, Tanya. Eibishter created me and you that are going to be halavai beinani, a wish a middleman, because we're gonna still have the desire of evil. We're gonna have the desire. We're gonna have that struggle. So when we have emunah, when people like us have emunah, that's where the Eibishter gets his most nachas from. Not from a tzaddik that has emunah. When people like us have emunah, have faith in our struggles, in the situations where we say, Lama Reisa, what's going on over here? Everything I try to do is not going correct. Everything I try to do is going south. And what's going on? What am I? I'm a good person. What does the Eibishter have against me? What does he have against me? He actually doesn't have against you. He loves you. He's saying, I trust you more than I trust anybody else. I trust you like I trust myself. I'm in the same situation. And I want a partnership with you in accomplishing this journey. Are you ready to go together? I'm not letting you go yourself. We're going to go together with you. That's the talk. I'm ready to go together with you. Are you ready to go together with me in this journey?
Ready.
That's we say we're ready, but then we complain, we kvetch, right? So we kvetch. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't kvetch. Moshe Rabbeinu said, I need to see b'seichel. I need you to help me to see it b'seichel in my mind to understand this emunah. I'm not kvetching why bad things are happening. I'm not complaining. I'm asking you to explain to me b'seichel, intellectually. I'm a Chabadnik. And since I'm a Chabadnik, I'm a chokhmah. I use my wisdom. It's not emotion. My emotions is guided by my wisdom. I need you to explain to me b'seichel, what is this? Explain to me b'seichel this journey. Say to me intellectually this journey. I need to explain to me intellectually. That's what even Moshe Rabbeinu says later. The Isapad, I want to see your face. I want you to explain to me this journey. Try to explain to me this whole the good that will come. How do you see the good in the bad?
Wasn't he really saying that I'm not the best choice for this journey?
That was before already. Now he's in the job already.
Now he's in there.
He's already doing the job. He's committed.
Okay.
No, that's before. Lama Reisa is when he's in the job. He doesn't give up the job. Moshe Rabbeinu never gave up the job. Once he took the job, he never gave up the job for 40 years. Even though he struggled with the job. It was not an easy job. To be a leader in Jewish nation is not an easy job. It's not a job for a good Jewish boy. So but Moshe Rabbeinu never gave up the job because Moshe Rabbeinu saw the purpose in the job. He ultimately saw the purpose. And that's where Moshe Rabbeinu reached up through his wisdom to see the purpose in the job. He accepted the Eibishter's answer intellectually. Understand? Accepted the Eibishter's answer intellectually. but it was hard for him because it was not his pain. Moshe Rabbeinu, his pain was willing to accept. It was their pain. Lama reisa lama zeh. Moshe Rabbeinu was hard to accept the pain of others. Right? If you want to put me in Mitzrayim, gesundheit, I'm willing to go through that pain. But lama reisa lama zeh, and that's what you see Moshe throughout his time. He always mentions about the people, even though he was in the same boat. But he's willing to accept whatever the Eibishter gives him. But why are you doing this to people? Right? Why are you doing this to others? That was his ultimate struggle of why you're doing it to others. And the Eibishter answered him, don't worry, I'm not doing it to others just for the sake of pain. Yeah.
Doesn't have to exactly do it, but I have a question. When I was learning the Shabbos, they said that one of the reasons that I want to know if this is what you think of it, because we were trying to figure out if this was the answer. That Moshe said that he wasn't allowed to go into Eretz Yisrael because when he went up to Midian and he went to the well, he told the daughters
He's Egyptian.
that he's Egyptian and he's not a Jew. And he said that's why he wasn't allowed to go into Israel. But we learned that the reason he wasn't allowed to go into Israel is because he struck the rock and he didn't talk to it. Which was the reason why he wasn't allowed to go into Israel?
The Kabbalah says there's 10 reasons. There's 10 reasons why Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't. And the truth is, they're all the same. They're all one reason. They're all all integrated in one reason. Why Moshe Rabbeinu didn't go into the land of Israel? It's all one reason. What? That was Moshe Rabbeinu, his struggle. Moshe Rabbeinu's struggle with the Eibishter from beginning until the end is the way you're supposed to deal with the people. He had that struggle with the Eibishter. The way you're supposed to deal with people. The Eibishter saw it one way. Moshe Rabbeinu saw it a different way. And Chassidus says actually that both of them are right. Both of them are right. The Eibishter saw something through the eyes of God, and that's a straight way. Moshe Rabbeinu saw it through the eyes of the people. And he said to the Eibishter, we need to go a different avenue. We need to go a different way. Right? So Chassidus brought down the why did Moshe Rabbeinu hit the stone. The Eibishter said that he talked to the stone. That tefillah would be the ultimate way of doing things. Prayer. But Moshe Rabbeinu said, no, maybe action should be the better way of doing things. So this was there was a journey. If you learn, there's a journey of this of Moshe Rabbeinu and the Eibishter. And Chassidus said, as I mentioned yesterday, that everybody has this journey. We all have a journey to see things to see things through God's eyes, and to see things through our eyes, from below to above. How do you bring these two things together? See things through God's vision, and then to see things through our vision. The Eibishter wanted to bring together these two concepts. That the Eibishter says, I see through your vision too. You're thinking that you have your vision, I have my vision. I made your vision. So I can see things through you. But the only way you can do that is you uplift yourself. You have the capability to uplift yourself. Then maybe we can come and see it eye to eye. And we can have panim upon him, face-to-face vision. But that's a journey. That's a journey. And that's why actually he says over here, it's interesting because the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya too, even though you're not a tzaddik, and maybe you'll never be a tzaddik in your life, but there are parts in your life that can be a tzaddik. There are situations in life that you can be a tzaddik. You can see things in the way a tzaddik sees it. Maybe you can't see in the things in a general way where a tzaddik sees it because you see the world. Because to see through God's eyes, you got to be able to take away the vision of the world. You change your glasses to see, and that's very difficult for us to change our glasses because we're human beings and we see things through human eyes. That's why the Lubavitcher Rebbe would say, whenever we said a bracha, we should see the bracha lamata masara tfachim. If you ever way for bringing, we would always say we want to see the blessings below 4 asara tfachim, which is around 5 feet. May we see the blessings lamata masara tfachim. May we see the blessing below asara tfachim, below 10 tfachim, which is around 5 feet. So in essence, you can say there's always a blessing. The Eibusha gives you always a blessings from above. From above, everything is beautiful. God sees everything as beautiful, but the problem is we don't see it as beautiful, and that's what the problem is. So the Eibusha he says everything is beautiful. Says the magician Magid said that when he's going to go Lamaila, he's going to change, he's going to put an end to all the tzaros of Yidden. So he went Lamaila, he went above, and nothing stopped. So he came to one of his students and said, listen, the way we see it above is not the way you see it below. Above. So the way you see things above is not the way you see things below. So below, you might see things in negative. Above, everything is positive. So the Eibush just sees everything in a positive way. You're seeing it in a negative way. Why are you looking in a negative way? Why are you looking in a negative way? Maybe it's a positive way. How do you know?
All these terrible things about their lives. And I'm sitting listening.
Yeah, so why do you think that's happening?
Is it because
Are you going to tell her not to do that? You're going to try to influence her not to have a negative thing. That's why you were told about it.
I really am, but I'm really more there to listen.
Maybe, but then you have to tell her something.
So is that the 5 below, or is that, I mean, where am I? Where is this?
Maybe say that's you're the messenger that God has sent you in this world
Okay.
to hopefully inspire her to see things in a positive way. So you have to try. Well, so you try your best. That's it. That's what you do. That's all you do. That could be true too. That could be also true. That can be true too. That could be true too. I'm not saying you always have to say something. Most people need a vent. That's true too. So beautiful. So vent. Let them vent.
The book Positivity.
Yeah, Positive
Everybody came to complain, and it's a wonderful book. Do you have that book?
Yeah. So so that's what he says over here.
Positivity.
That's what he says over here. The journey, he says over here, you'll read over here, the journey from having emunah, faith in our struggles, is ultimately to reach up to the level of a tzaddik. That a tzaddik, in essence, doesn't say, oh, why do bad things happen to good people? Nothing's bad is happening to good people. What are you talking about? There's nothing bad happening to good people. So to us, regular people, we look at something bad and say, why did bad thing happen to good people? Because what does it show? We're not a tzaddik. That's it. That's all that it shows. You're not a tzaddik. And maybe you'll never be a tzaddik. Maybe you'll never be a tzaddik. And that's not the end of the world. So the Beinoni, the middleman, or the Rosh Hashanah, the wicked that has good to him, what is his? He has struggles with the negative, and he has to just talk himself in and press upon himself that there's positivity. There has to be some light at the end of the tunnel. There's got to be something good in it. There's got to be some aspect of positive in there. Relax, like I said before. Take a deep breath. Hang in there. The ultimate, it'll be good. Right? That's what Rabbi Akiva. Whatever the Eibishter does is going to be to the good. Oh, then you have Nachamish Gamzu that says Gamzu l'Teva. This is good, and that's a tzaddik. He says this is good, not that it's going to be good. This is good. Everything is good. Everything is a machaya. What are you complaining about? There's nothing to complain about. Everything is good. And that's the journey. That's a journey. So in essence, after that, but ultimately it says if you take that journey, if you're always going to complain and never leave that space, you'll never come to the conclusion. It'll never happen. So you're going to go through life complaining like anything's going to change. You're going to go through life complaining and being critical and seeing bad in everything. And a lot of people do that. And fine. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Nothing's going to change. But then you can go through the journey of life and work on seeing through good things and finding the silver lining in things that are bad, because the Abish is there. So therefore, if God's there, there has to be a silver lining. And ultimately, maybe through your journey, you'll come to a tzaddik and say, I actually see the good. But you'll become once in a while, the Lubavitch should have a positivity bias that it never saw bad in anything in the world. And that's it. And that's a tzaddik. Alavai, we can do that. And we can reach after that. But in essence, if you don't crawl, you won't walk. If you don't walk, you won't run. So we need to do baby steps. And I think that's what he explains over here. We'll read it. He explains over here. You need to be able to have betach in the Eibush in a time of stress. In a time of stress, in a time of tzaras, that's when you need to have betach and not to rely on yourself. But hashlach al Hashem yahavcha v'hu yichal kelecha. Throw your issues on trust in the Eibush, and He will be part of that chelik with you. And ultimately, through training myself to throw my things and to throw it on God and to say that, the Eibush is with me in this situation, because that's me avoided. Not that I'm going to have everything good to me and there'll never be a challenge in my life, because then we would be in Gan Eden. And that's not what God wanted. God wanted we should be in this world because He wanted a dida b'taften. We're going back to the Eibush wanted a dida in the lowest levels of the world. And that's in the darkness of the world. The Eibush wanted to have a dwelling place in this darkness of the world. Right? God didn't have to put the Jewish people in Mitzrayim. But the Eibush, where's the first Seder is in Mitzrayim. The first Seder is not Adam Mitzrayim, which we're going to come to in next week or two. The first Seder is in Mitzrayim. So the celebration of Mitzrayim, going out of Egypt, happened in Mitzrayim. Right? Why? Why don't you have the celebration if they're going out of Mitzrayim? No, the Eibush says, no, we need to sit down to a Seder in Mitzrayim. Then you can have a celebration out of Mitzrayim. You need to sit down in Mitzrayim when you're in Gullus and sit down and have a Seder. Right? It's interesting that they ate maror in Mitzrayim. So that means you have to so why are you eating maror in Mitzrayim? Why you eat maror? Maror is to remember Mitzrayim. I'm in Mitzrayim and I'm eating maror. I'm eating matzah and maror to remember the bitterness of Mitzrayim. Because you have to realize the bitterness of Mitzrayim is not a real bitterness. It's also just a memory of bitterness. It's not a real bitterness. It's not a real bitterness. It's only there for another purpose, so it's not real. So it's not real. That's why they ate maror in Mitzrayim. Okay, that's why these portions are very important. And ask the question. I think ask the question. Maybe you're not like the others who does say hineni. None of us are like the others who does say hineni. Here I am. We asked the why. We are Moshe Rabbeinu. We asked the why. Why? My father used to say why is a crooked letter. Why? Why is it crooked? He said, it's the only letter you do in English, it looks like. So why is a crooked letter? Okay. So over here he says the power, the reason. Right? So let's knock this over. Let's go to page 13. The true reason why the Creator made such a way that the person must make effort to pursue and search for the means of his livelihood and other needs. The first reason, because God in his wisdom decided to test a person to whatever he will choose the service of the Almighty or rebel against him. Therefore, he tested him in a manner through which it will be evident which path he chooses. The way that he did this by causing a person to need the lacking of which is outside of him, be it food, drink, clothes, shelter, relationships. He then instructed people to pursue these things and obtain them through means which he prepared for them, but only in a specific manner, in specific times. And those things that the Creator decreed that the person will obtain, he will now the Abishah tells you to go and work, and then he says, but only trust that I give you what you deserve. That's where it lies. That's where we can, do you have faith or not? That's the greatest test. That's the greatest test. That the Abishah says, go and do a job, and you do a job, and I'm successful, and now have a munah that's from the Abishah. That's where the test is. If the Abishah would give you everything, so it's not a test. If the Abishah says, no, you go out and do it, I want you to do it, and then feel that I'm a partner with you. Why do we need a partner? I'm doing fine without a partner. But that's where the biggest test. When it's failure, we blame God. Where's God? I'm trying my hardest. Where's God? When the success, it's the biggest test. So there's a bigger test. As the Gemara says, what is a bigger test in godliness? Anias or Ashirus? Wealth or being poor? Being poor, everybody blames on God.
Yeah.
Being rich, success is when we say, well, I don't need God. I don't need God. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Once that's a Jew, how come you don't think, why are you not in the show? Everything is good. Everything good. I don't need anything. If I need a Mishabedach, I'll come to show. I don't need anything. Everything is good. So what's the problem? No problem. Whatever. I trust God. Everything's going to be good. Why do I need to come to? What do I need to pray for? So if we could know, pray. That's what the Rebbe says. Prayer it's a wrong word for Hebrew. Prayer. Prayer is because I need something. I'm hoping on something. I'm protecting something. Tefillah is secondary. Tefillah, I don't pray because I need something or I need to protect something. Tefillah is whatever I have is only because of the Eibishter. So it's not because I'm protecting it. Whatever I have is because of the Eibishter is part of that existence. And there's nothing without God. So I cannot, that's Tefillah. Tefillah means I thank the Eibishter for everything. Not what I'm going to get, or what I should get, or what not I need to get. Everything that I have is from the Eibishter. That's really the word Tefillah. Tefillah means secondary. So I'm a partner with somebody, and I'm actually secondary to that partnership. That's the hardest thing, right? I did it, and I'm secondary. Nobody wants to be secondary. Everybody wants to be the owner of the business. It's my success. That's a tough thing. That's a real tough thing to be able to be accomplished and to say it's not mine. It's not an easy thing to do. That's why the hardest mitzvah to do in the Torah was Shemitah, right? For a Jew to walk away from his land that he worked on for 7 years, 6 years, and then walk away from it. My hard labor, I should walk away from. Give it to everybody? Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Logically, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. To work 6 years of my life in something and then open it to everybody? It belongs to everybody? What do you mean? It's my work. It's my labor. It's my efforts. How can I do that? How do you? See, you're right. It's very hard to do that if for 6 years I didn't have betachin in the Eibishter. For 6 years, I thought this is my success, and now walk away from it. But if I had 6 years betachin in God, then it wouldn't be a hard thing to do.
But what if you're alive, okay? And you have all this money, and you make a will, and you will all this money, all your money comes to charity.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that kind of be the same thing?
Yeah.
You know, if
But
you-
why will the money to charity? Why don't you just give it to charity now? That's it. Beautiful. Your children might not like you, but
My daughter won't take
Right.
it now. Don't worry about it.
no, enjoy the money now. I never understood why people put in a will. That's why in Torah there's no thing as a will. A will. Right? The money automatically goes someplace the second the person passes away. There's no such kind of concept of will because you have to use your money now. Maybe she wants to use your money now. Why do I give you money for somebody else? I'll give it to somebody else. So I'll give it to somebody else the money. So why are you giving it to somebody else? Actually, you're going to give your money to somebody else. That my person might abuse you. My child might take it and blow it away. So what is the mission? Why you need to do that for? Use the money. I gave you the money to use it now. The Bible should have said once a person, a shliach, once asked the Rebbe if he has some extra money. Oh, no, somebody wanted to give him money. It's actually a shliach in Fort Lauderdale, Rabbi Lieberman, I'd say, because he said it in public. So Rabbi Lieberman said he once was offered, a group of Balabatim came to him and said, you know what, we're going to get you money. Said, we see you always struggling. So we're going to make money. We're going to get a group of guys. We're going to invest the money. We're going to invest the money. And then the organization will get money. So the Rebbe answered him, Shtoka is going to invest money. Chabad is going to invest money. When there's children out there that need to go Jewish education, you're going to invest money. What they want to do with their money, let me say what they want to do with their money, let them do with their money. But if you have money, you need to spend it. The person needs money now. You're going to say, no, you're going to invest my money. And the person needs money now. You need to help a Jew out now. Don't invest no money. Chabad should not invest any money. Chabad should actually not have any money in the bank. They should use their money for good things. And don't have money in the bank. Baal Shem Tov, it says he never went to sleep with any possessions. He gave away all his possessions for the day. He gave it all away. And the next day, whatever the Eibishter gave him, he gave it away.
That's why my life is a fundraiser.
Good.
We would put money in the foundation.
No.
Jewish-
Put their money in, you put money right now. There's Jewish children needed right now. So if you have $1 million, now the foundation is only going to give you $50,000 or $100,000 to help people. What about the widows of $900,000? It's in the foundation. Use the $1 million and help people right now. You know, they will still give you next year $2 million. So use the money right now. That's trusting the Eibishter. So that's the way. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a foundation, whatever. I'm not getting against foundations. But did everyone, the Lubavitch at least, Chabad houses, should use their money for situations right now. Right now. Right now. Whatever, when Russia, there was a situation, the Russian, when there was a struggle with Russia, so there was an organization came out that they're going to keep an empty chair at the Seder for the Russian Jew. So the Rebbe said, keep an empty chair at the Seder. Fill it with somebody for the Russian Jew, right? Say this chair that I'm going to put an extra chair. I'm going to fill the chair for the Russian Jew that can be by the Seder. I'm not going to have an empty chair. Why have an empty chair at the Seder? When somebody can sit in it, fill the chair. That was the Rebbe. Fill the chair. Yeah, put an extra chair, put maybe an extra 10 chairs for the 10 Jews of Russia that cannot be at a Seder, and fill it with 10 American Jews who need to be invited to a Seder. And that was the day that Rebbe looked at things, right? So that's when you have bitachon. But I need to put the money away for it. Maybe still give you the money. Maybe she gave you the money now. He gave you $1 million now. He'll give you $1 million in the future. What? He's going to run out of money. God's going to run out of money. Not going to run out of money. So So that is the secret. It's always a success. It's always in the success. We say, oh, but wait a second, I need to put it away. Maybe I'm not gonna have success tomorrow. Right? I'm afraid maybe I'm not gonna have success. So who gave you success now?
There's a contradiction that Hashem gave us
Yeah.
enough food in that banana for just one day
Right.
because he didn't want us. He wanted us to know that there'll be another day.
Right. The Jews didn't like the man. Okay. The Jews complain about the man because that was a tough thing. Because that reason, it's a very tough thing. All of us want our refrigerators full. Right? What are we gonna do with all this food? Who eats all this food? Right? People like to have abundance. Your mother says when you send somebody out with a meal, never send them out with one meal. To send them out with 2 meals. Because if you give him 1 meal, he's never gonna eat it. He won't eat it. Right? So don't send him out with 1 sandwich. Because once he finishes a sandwich, he's not gonna have another, he's not gonna have food. So he never eats the 1 sandwich. Always send him out with 2 sandwiches. Always send him out with more food. Right? Because then he'll eat, because he won't be worried that he's not gonna have any leftover food. Right? So always send out mazon shtei sudas. Always send out with a person that needs, send him a mazon of 2 meals. So we'll eat the meal. We'll eat the first meal. Right. My father would always say the statement, "A kranken fragment, a gesunden getten." His word said it this week. A kranke, a sick person, you ask how much you can give him. A healthy person, you give him. A kranken fragment, a gesunden getten. A sick person, yeah, a person comes to your house, table, he's sick. You make sure you don't feed him food that's going to kill him. So if he's sick, make sure you don't give him food that he cannot eat. But a gesunde, a healthy person, just give him. Give him whatever you can. Don't ask him. Fill up the table. Right? Give him food. Don't ask him what, when. Give him food. We're asking. Give. Person should always be a giver. That's also one of the reasons why the Abishta made a person a partner in his existence, the Rebbe says. Because a person should also feel like a giver. Even though he's a taker, he should feel like a giver. The Abishta wanted that a human being should be like him, be a giver. If we're only takers, then we'll never feel like we're feel like we're never not important. We're here only to take. That's why the real way of giving is to make the taker feel that he's a giver, right? Yosef, as the Gemara says, Yosef masha aish asher aisa in ani, more than the wealthy man does with the poor man. Ha'ani aisa ima asher, more than the rich man does with the poor man gives to the rich man. And the chachma is, the trick is, that the rich man makes the poor man feel that he's a giver, that he's not a taker, that he's not only there to get the money, but he makes the poor man feel that you're giving me a mitzvah which is worth more than the money I'm giving you, right? So please take the money, right? Because you're giving me more. I'm giving you something physical. You're giving me a mitzvah. Maybe it's worth more than. They say the story about Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, once a Yid came to the Baal Shem Tov. He was a very poor man. He had to marry off his daughter. He needed to have. Baal Shem Tov said, "How much you need? He needs 10,000 rubles." He didn't have a penny. Baal Shem Tov took out $1, kopka, and he gave it to this poor man. He said, "The first thing that you can buy, you buy with this. What can you buy with a kopka? What can you buy with $1?" So he goes home. He says, "Whatever. Okay, what a bracha this is." This is why I'm asking for $10,000. He gives me a kupka, right? He goes, so what does a Jew do when he's sad? He comes into a tavern. He sits in a tavern. He's going to say L'chaim. Suddenly he is. There's a group of guys that they're sitting on the side. They're having a good Jews. They're drinking. They're drinking. They turn to this guy and say, "What are you here for?" He says, "I'm here to buy something. You have something to sell?" The guy says, "I'll sell you my Gan Eden. I'll sell you my Elam Haba." So he says, how much do you have?" He said, I have a kupka. That's all I have is $1. It's fine. Give me the $1 and you got my Gan Eden. Right? Guy says the first thing the Baal Shem Tov said, to buy. I'll buy the guy's Gan Eden. So he buys the guy's Gan Eden. Now he has no kupka. He has nothing. He goes home. He's depressed. This guy goes home and tells him he's drunk. He tells his wife, I sold my Gan Eden for a kupka, right? As a joke. His wife says, you sold your Gan Eden for a kupka? What are you, crazy? Go buy back the Gan Eden. He says, why? It's a joke. He says, I'm not living with a guy who has no Gan Eden. I'm not living with a guy. You go buy back the Gan Eden. You go buy. So he runs back to the guy's house, knocks on the door. He says, okay, here's $1. Here's your kupka back. It was a joke. Here's your kupka back and give me back my Gan Eden. He says, no. I'm not selling it back for a kupka. How much is selling it? I'll give you $100. No, I'm selling it back. You get $10,000. You want your Gan Eden, it's $10,000. Sure. Okay, what should I do? Gives him $10,000. He buys his Gan Eden, right? Baruch Hashem. He has enough money to make a chasida. So he went back but he felt bad. Ripped the guy off $10,000. He felt like he ripped the guy off $10,000. He went back to Baal Shem Tov. He said, Baal Shem Tov, thank you very much. Seems like your kupka was worth $10,000. I greet you, but I really feel bad that maybe I should go pay back this guy his $10,000 because I took it more. Baal Shem Tov said, no. He said, when you came into the tavern, this Jew is a Gan Eden who was worth a kupka. At the end of the day, his Gan Eden was worth $10,000. You gave him a bigger Gan Eden. You see, his Gan Eden was worth a kupka. Now his Gan Eden is worth 10,000 ruble. Now that's worth his Gan Eden. So you understand? So it's all what depends. What do you think your Gan Eden is worth? It's more than the rich man gives the kupka. He gives the $10,000. What's the Gan Eden worth? What is the paradise worth? What does he gain from that kupka? What does he gain from that $1? And that's what a person should always feel. The truth is, that's the way the Eibusher. What did you gain and what is your loss? Eibusher in Pirkei Avos says the same thing. What is the value? What is the value of everything that you value? Oh, I bought this mezuzah, it was $50. Oh, what an expensive. What is the value? What is the value? What is the value? What is that? Maybe it's the value what you're going to gain out of this mezuzah is worth more than the $50 or $60 or $100 you're going to spend. But if everything is a value, if you're buying a mezuzah is like buying a car, then you're taka right. That the mezuzah, the mitzvah is like buying a car, they're like buying a couch. Maybe taka, why is it worth $50? Where is that? It sounds like a very expensive thing for a piece of parchment. It seems like a very expensive thing. If you need 10 mezuzahs for sure. So, but if you're buying that $50, $500 is going to give you something much greater. So what's the value? It's worth more than $600. It's much more. Yeah. Whoa.
It's terrible. It's
What?
at a player, like all kids do, and it's on the store. And it's $14 million. And
No, man.
it's gas. And it's $14 million.
It's the parchment inside. It's the parchment inside. That's what's important. Okay, ready? Those things that the Creator decreed that the person will obtain, he will obtain. As a result of God making available all the means that he requires. While those things that God did not decree that he will obtain, he will not obtain, since those means will withhold from him. As a result, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you the most shocking. I always say this thing in the Gemara says the most shocking statement in the Gemara. The Gemara says that if somebody steals from you money, right? If somebody steals from you money, and he comes to return it, you should say, I don't want it. Yeah.
But if the bank gives it back, you don't care.
Yes, of course.
Something similar just happened.
So a yid, the Gemara is talking about a yid. If somebody comes to you and stole your money, and then he comes to give it back to you, you should say, I don't need it.
Why should we do that?
Why? Why? Because if somebody, Chassidus says, if somebody stole from your money, it didn't belong to you.
Oh.
It didn't belong to you. That's a tough thing.
I don't know.
That's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. That is tough.
Isn't that you damage somebody?
That has to do with him. Has nothing to do with you. If somebody damaged me, then that was supposed to happen.
What about it?
Then that was supposed to happen. It didn't belong to me. It didn't belong to me. It's not an easy thing, but that's what the Gemara says. So that's Emunas Hashem. If somebody stole my money, he needs to do tshuva. He stole money from me. That's nothing to do with him. He's a Haber Shluch L'Mokim. So he has no right to steal money from me. But the Gemara says the guy comes back and says, here's back the money. You say, keep the money. Give it to Daka. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. It's not my money. It doesn't belong to me. It never belonged to me. Give it away. I don't want it. What? Even it's $1 million.
Rabbi, what about a business? What if someone?
Even a business. It's not mine. It's not mine.
So if you work for a month for somebody and they don't pay you?
They don't pay me. That's his. That he's a guy. That's his problem. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. Okay. No, the guy a Jew doesn't make a difference. What's the difference? Same concept. Same concept.
I want to speak to the writer.
That's it. That's Emunas Hashem. That's true Emunah. Okay. I'm not saying this is an easy thing. I'm not saying this is an easy thing. But that's what he says. If it doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to me. And he says, if I'm not supposed to obtain it, it doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to me. That's it. It belongs to me or it doesn't belong to me. It says, we say a story of the, answer your question, you say a story of the Chafetz Chaim. That once they came to a prosecutor, came to the judge and said, tomorrow the Chafetz Chaim is coming, great tzaddik, a great righteous man is coming, the non-Jewish court. So the guy said, well, who's the Chafetz Chaim? This guy is a judge. He said, you didn't hear the story of the Chafetz Chaim? And once he came to his house, walked into his house, and a ganef was running out of the house. So he said to the ganef, don't run, it's not mine. It's not mine. I'm hefker. I've abandoned all this stuff. It's not mine. So the judge said, you believe that story? Do you believe that story? So this was a smart guy, a prosecutor. He said, listen, it's not important whatever I believe the story is true, but they never said the story about me and you. Nobody would ever say the story about us. Right? They say the story about this rabbi, so he must be somebody special. Whether the story happened or not, it's not important. It's important that nobody would ever say the story of me and you. Nobody would ever say such a story. That's the point. That was the point. I'm not a thief. You're not a thief. So why are you running? Why are you running? You can walk out nicely. It's yours. You're not a thief because of me. You're not a thief because of me. You know what? Let me tell you something. You say it every day in your davening. I said this many times. You say it every day, every night when you go to sleep. You're supposed to say a Yehid. It's a very powerful statement. There's many arguments on this statement that we say, what it means, whatever. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it the way it says it, right? Master of the universe, I hereby forgive anyone who has angered or vexed me. or sinned against me, either physically or financially, against my honor or anything else of mine, whether accidentally or intentionally, inadvertently, deliberately, by speech or by deed, in this incarnation or any other, any Jew, may no man be punished on my account. End of story. I don't want any Jew to be punished because of me. Okay? I don't want any Jew to be punished because of me, whether financially, spiritually. I don't want any Jew to suffer because of me. You understand that kind of statement to say? You understand what that means?
What about business practices? When
That's
somebody-
why
Nobody should suffer because of me. I don't want to bring anybody to suffer because of me. I don't want, if somebody stole from me and now his neshama has to come back again because of me. I don't want anybody to suffer because of me. I don't want anybody to come up to heaven and say, oh, you owe Zalman Bucket money. I don't want him to suffer because of me. I want him to have a lichtig Gan Eden. He should love paradise. I forgive him. I don't care. It's over. Done. Can you imagine such a thing? Not in this, not in any kind. Because you know what happens if a person is indebted to me or to you or to anybody here, and they're indebted. Now they come to heaven after 120 years, and they have an indebtment. They held the old, and they're going to have to come down again. They're going to have to come down again. I don't want it. I don't want to have nobody should suffer because of me. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to go. Nobody should suffer because of me. Nobody should suffer because of me. That's it.
So Rabbi, is that because on Rosh Hashanah Hashem decrees?
Yeah, that's it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah. Nobody should suffer because of me. If somebody writes it, nobody suffers. Now, that's why we should be forgiving. Nobody suffers because of me. And the truth is, you want to take this to a degree. If somebody punches you, you deserve the punch. Right? Yeah, I don't want the person. Should he punch you? No. But I have a talk of the Eibishter. If the punch went through, then I deserve the punch. That's it. I deserve the punch. That doesn't mean I'm sticking my head. Somebody should punch me. But in essence, I believe everything's in the hands of the Eibishter. It's a very tough thing. But that's the tough. What?
Get rid of the courts.
No, because the person has to know that what's right and what's wrong. But that's the point. I take him to court that he stole money from me, and then I say, keep the money.
That's why people.
That's the way you do it. So take him to court, let the guy know he's wrong, and then keep the money. That's what David HaMelech used to do. That's the Gemara says, David HaMelech. He was the court. He used to make the guy pay the money, and then he used to give him back the money. So that's what he did. Tzedakah v'chesed. Mishpat is tzedakah. David HaMelech did mishpat is tzedakah. He would make a guy pay the money. He made the poor guy pay the rich guy the money that he stole, and then after the court, he would pull him in and give him back the money. And give him money. Say, here's your $100. If somebody stole the money because you have no money, say, here's the $100. So that's his problem. That's his problem. Nobody should steal. Not saying over here anybody should steal. Nobody should steal. But everybody has the Yetzirah.
Rabbi, you
Everybody
raise
has
children. Rabbi, you raise children. If you reward bad behavior, what do you get? More bad behavior.
More bad.
No. I'm not here. I'm not here saying that everybody should do bad. That's happening. There has to be ramifications for anything that a person does. But you have to have rachmanis. You have to have rachmanis too. And that's what you have to. That's what David HaMelech did. And he prayed to God that people shouldn't take advantage on him. That the rich man, the poor man shouldn't go into a deal. Say, let's go to court to David HaMelech. You'll pay me, and then David HaMelech will pay you. So let's make the deal over here. It's a good business. We'll go to court. We'll go to David HaMelech. He'll make you pay me, and then he'll give you the money. So we'll go to David HaMelech. Pray to the Eibishter that people shouldn't do that. But I'm not going to fall into the trap. I'm not going to become the mean guy because there's some kind of scheming going out there of not doing things right.
I got rewarded.
That's the way a person should run his life.
If I had that kind of.
That's betachan in the Eibishter, my friend. Right? The Gemara says, I think the Gemara says it's better to do when a poor man comes to you and reaches out to your hand to you, you should give him tzedakah. Now maybe I should evaluate if he deserves a tzedakah. Better to do something wrong once in a while than not to do something ever right.
Encouraging somebody to take.
You understand? Better do something wrong. You hear what I'm saying? Better do something wrong. Give tzedakah to somebody who doesn't deserve than to never give tzedakah in your life. Because you want to be critical, you can be critical on every situation. So if you're gonna, a poor man's gonna come to you, you're gonna say, wait a second, why am I giving you tzedakah? Well, go get a job. Or you're a bum, you're just a lazy guy, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's gonna come critical in every situation. No, make a mistake once in a while. At least you're not gonna become a person that doesn't give. Be a giver. Don't be a taker. Be a giver and be abused once in a while. But be a giver. Be a giver. It's worth it to be a giver than the Abishter says that. I'm a giver and I'm abused constantly. So be a giver and keep giving, even though once in a while you're gonna get abused. Right? That's right. Right? Never stop giving. Right? Tzaddik chayne v'noisen. A tzaddik never stops giving. Because if he's going to start being critical of the times he was abused, he will stop giving. And we learn that from the Eibishter, how many people abuse him, and he's never stopped to give. So therefore, that's why the drush of Maidani, the Eibishter has unlimited of giving, even though people abuse him. We should never lose giving, even though people are going to abuse you. Hopefully you'll never get abused by the people who you give, but you are going to get abused because that's human situations. Never stop being a giver. And that's why the Eibishter gave us the concept of giving. Because there's always going to be darkness, there's always going to be the abuser out there, and he'll give you 500 excuses not to give anymore. And then make sure next time you give, it's going to be with 500 strings attached, and then you'll have to go through 7 boards and 7 evaluations of why you deserve to get. Be a giver. Be a giver. Be a giver. God bless you all. Let us all be givers.
Amen.
Let us not be takers only. The Eibishter taught us the greatest quality in life. The Eibishter taught us, that's what he said earlier, the Eibishter taught us the greatest quality in life is to be a giver. And that's what we should do. Never lose that quality of giving. God bless you all.